afternoon, everyone. Welcome to 2020 Migrant and Refugee Poetry Competition, Malaysia. My name is Hassan, and I'll be the MC for today. A bit of introduction about myself. I came to Malaysia in 2012 with my family as a refugee myself. Currently, I'm studying degree in education at the University of Nottingham, Malaysia. As you can see, our beautiful campus behind me. I'm also the founder of the Al Hassan Volunteer Network and the co-founder of Refugee Emergency Fund, a nonprofit organization that helps the underprivileged communities through volunteering organizations. Thank you so much for joining us for the Migrant and Refugee Poetry Competition, Malaysia. And this event is a unique poetry competition that provides a platform for mutual understanding between Malaysians and migrants while celebrating the literary talent of migrant workers and refugees. The event also promotes greater tolerance of multiculturalism and gives a voice to refugees and foreign workers. This is our sixth year running, and this event, even though this time it's online, we are still happy that we can continue sharing the stories of our fellow brothers and sisters. Before we start, I would like to introduce you to Aina Khalil Lim, who volunteers as a coordinator in Malaysia, and she will share a little bit about the competition.
Thank you, Hassan, for the introduction. Hello, and welcome to this edition of the Global Migrant Festival 2020. My name is Ina Khalil Lim, and I'm excited to be with you as we present the Malaysian Migrant Worker and Refugee Poetry Competition 2020 Finals. Many of you who have been following us since the very beginning would know that we normally run this competition on a physical stage in front of a live audience. But unfortunately, this year we made the difficult decision to run this competition and broadcast it digitally on screen only. I hope that next year we will be able to meet again soon and on a physical stage as well as on this digital global stage. On behalf of the festival coordinators, I would like to thank our partners, the High Commission of Canada in Malaysia, Speak City, Think Raw, LTT Global, Help University, and The Good Shop. I would also like to thank our esteemed panel of judges, Ms. Sarah Manika, Mr. Luis Utip, and Ms. Carol Leon for judging our 68 submissions. And of course, a thank you to our volunteer committee who have made this competition a reality. Many of our past poets have continued in the creative arts and outreach work. In fact, today our Masters of Ceremony, Mr. Hassan Al-Akra, was himself a contestant a few years ago, and we are most grateful to have him today to guide us in our poetry readings. To all our poets, past and present, we hope you will continue sharing your voice to promote cross-cultural understanding and empathy, and we hope that you inspire more poets of all ages to share their voices. I'm sure you are as excited as I am to find out who the winners of this competition are, so stay tuned, and remember, please tune into all our other sessions in the Global Migrant Festival happening all week. And tune in again next Sunday for the Singapore edition of the poetry competition. Please share and spread the word about us, and I thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Aina, for the brief introduction about the competition. Now, before we start the poetry readings by the finalists, we would like to give a huge thanks to our supporting partners, the High Commission of Canada, Speak City, Help University, LTT Global, Think Raw, and The Good Shop. Please give them a round of applause wherever you are for supporting the event.
Hello, my name is Esther Van Ness, and I'm the Political Counselor at the High Commission of Canada in Malaysia. I am very pleased to have been invited to speak at the launch of the Global Migrant Festival 2020. For the past few years, the Canadian High Commission in Malaysia has been a proud supporter of the Malaysian iteration of the Migrant Worker and Refugee Poetry Festival, and we are very pleased to be able to continue this collaboration this year in a new virtual format. 2020 has been a challenging year across the globe, requiring all of us to pivot and adjust to innovative modes of work and communication. We have all had to learn new ways of reaching out and connecting, and in many ways, our enforced physical separation over these months has served to remind us of the crucial importance of connectedness and communication. This said, The Migrant Worker and Refugee Poetry Festival has always been about the vital significance of communication in difficult situations. And so, while the format of the festival this year is altered, the fundamental nature of the event remains the same, providing an invaluable platform for the voices of individuals who, while often left out of mainstream conversation, have something important to say, and providing an opportunity to build bridges through sharing of stories and backgrounds. For the Government of Canada, diversity and inclusion are fundamental values that we endeavour to protect and promote within our society, our government, and in our foreign policy. While fostering inclusion is not always a straightforward process, it can begin quite simply with giving people a voice and with listening with an open mind. Everyone has something valuable to say, regardless of wealth or gender or ethnicity or citizenship or immigration status. Some observers might wonder about what impact poetry and the arts can have in tackling difficult discussions, which often revolve around borders and security. But across the world, we have seen how these forms of expression and creativity can become powerful tools in education and creating a sense of belonging and bridging divides. As I was preparing these remarks, I took a moment to reflect on some of my own favorite Canadian authors, Sri Lankan-born Michael Ondaatje, Indian-born Rohit Mistry, Vietnamese-born Kim Thuy, whose writing has referenced the time she spent as a refugee in Malaysia before her arrival in Canada, and Suvarnakam Tam-Avongsa, a Lao refugee born in Thailand who grew up in Toronto, whose novel How to Pronounce Knife just won the Giller Prize, one of Canada's greatest literary honors. And in thinking about these writers, I was struck about how, for me, and I think for other Canadians, their works and the voices and stories of these authors have informed how we conceptualize Canada and being Canadian. How these voices of migrants and refugees have actually woven themselves into the national psyche and the national identity in the ongoing, ever-evolving project of nation building. The challenges faced by migrants and refugees in Malaysia are not new, but regrettably, the COVID-19 pandemic and the measures that have been taken to combat it have served to exacerbate existing divisions. The same is true around the world. The vulnerable communities have been disproportionately affected by the COVID-19 crisis, and we have seen a rise globally of social marginalization and xenophobia. People are afraid and react in fear against those they see as different from themselves. But the pandemic has also hopefully reminded many of us that we are one humanity, and initiatives such as the Global Migrant Festival can serve to remind us of that shared humanity, the importance of speaking out in whatever form that voice may take, poetry, fiction, journalism, film. And it serves to remind us of the importance of listening to each other. We must make the choice every day to open ourselves up, be courageous, and to not let fear govern our perceptions of others. On that note, allow me to express my appreciation to the organizers and the participants of this festival. For the participants, thank you for sharing your voice with us. Your experience, your views, your emotions, your fears. All of this matters, and all of this is important. For the organizers, thank you for providing an invaluable platform and for taking the time year after year to bring together different communities. I hope that through events like this one, we can collectively make progress, both virtually and in real life, of building more resilient, diverse, tolerant, and inclusive societies. I look forward to listening. Thank you.
Now, I would like to introduce you to a very important group of people, our judges. These individuals have the difficult job of singling out the winners from 68 submissions. First up, we have Saraswati Manikam. Saraswati Manikam is a freelance writer, language and creative writing teacher whose short stories have been published in Malaysia's anthologies. She won the DK Dult Memorial Award for Literary Excellence in 2017. She was the regional winner, Asia, of the 2019 Commonwealth Short Story Prize. Round of applause for Saraswati Manikan. Next, Lu Su Tip. Lu Su Tips has been teaching English literature at the University of Malaya for the past 20 years. He currently also teaches the Gukien and has previously worked as a journalist and music critic in Singapore. Outside of his current professional interest in English poetry and medieval English, he also takes a keen interest in environmental issues and Taoist philosophy and practice. A round of applause for Lu Si Tip.
Hello, everyone. My name is Siuti, and I've been judging this competition ever since it started here in Malaysia. And like in former years, many of your entries covered subjects that are clearly very close to your hearts. And of course, we see many entries capturing the fear, the pain of the refugee experience, the struggle of the migrant worker community. And since we've started accepting entries by children, we've seen many entries expressing concerns that we normally associate with the process of growing up. So this year we found lots of very heartfelt, poignant, and convincing expressions of the childhood experience of growing up. There were poems about friends, family, life, and clearly some of you younger contestants also come from a refugee background, and you talk about your homeland and your hopes for the future. But some of the most convincing entries that we found from younger contestants talked about mum and dad. You talked about your love, you talked for them, their love for you, and how important they are in your lives.
Lastly, we have Carol Lian. Carol Lian is Associate Professor of English at the Department of English Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences at the University of Malaya, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. She teaches post-colonial theory and literature as well as travel writing at the university. Her research interests are diaspora, identity, notions of place and space, and themes of belonging and home in contemporary literature. Round of applause for Carol Lian.
Hi everyone, I'm Carol Leon, one of the judges for this competition. Every year since it started, I look forward to reading the entries, and this year, as in the past, the judges and I were impressed by the diversity of themes and the deep emotions expressed in these poems. As far as we are concerned, you are all winners. Please keep writing poetry. It is a wonderful way of expressing ourselves. I teach English literature at the university, and I especially look at themes of identity, belonging, diaspora, and migrancy. It is so interesting to see these themes in your poetry given a personal dimension. It is really a privilege to be part of this competition. Thank you for your entries. Congratulations to all the winners, and also thank you to the organizers for this most important event. All best.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my greatest pleasure to introduce to you the finalists for the junior category of 2020 Migrant and Refugee Poetry Competition, Malaysia. Let's start off with Abdul Rahim Al Tahan. Abdul Rahim is a 10-year-old student at Jasmine Asham School. In his free time, he likes playing football.
Hello, my name is Abdurrahim. I'm from grade 6. I'm from Jasmine Asham School. أمي يا نعمة الله الكبرى يا حبا أهواه يا قلبا حنونا بحجم البحر أعشق دنياه يا أغانٍ وأناشيد ووردا في العمر شداه يا شمسا تشرق في أفقي يا قمرا النيل دنياه كم ليلة سهرت من أجلي تبكي وتنادي رباه صغير حبيبي يا ربي املأه الصحة دنياه وكم أكتفي بابتسامة تسعد قلبي ورضا ينير دنياه فأنت عطاء من ربي فبماذا أحيا لولاه أماه أحبك يا عمري يا بهجة قلبي ومناه.
Next, we have Farah Zuhair Al Halabi. Farah Zuhair is from Syria and is currently studying at Jasmine Asham School. In her free time, she likes watching movies and cooking.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Farah Zuhair from grade 4. I'm 9 years old. Now I want to present a poem called You Are Awesome. You are awesome, standing in the world, looking up to the sky, sunshine shining everywhere around, and the birds fly. You are awesome, be brave and don't be shy. You are awesome, be always happy and don't cry. You are awesome, believe in yourself to get high and high. You are awesome, keep it and always try and try.
Next, we have Mawadda Al Buni. Mawadda is an 8-year-old student at Jasmine Asham School as well. In her free time, she loves reading and cooking.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mawadda. My poem is about my father. My dear father, I love you. I miss you. I want to see you. My dear father, I love to kiss your hand. I want to hug you. I want to smell you. My dear father, every night I feel sorry. I wish you can tell me a story. Every day I picture you. I want to spend a day with you. My dear father, many times I call you Dad, 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 but you do not answer me. I will always pray for you. I will never forget you, my lovely father.
Next, we have Tuka Musli. Tuka Musli is from Syria and is currently studying at the Jasmine Asham School as well.
سلام عليكم أينما كنتم سأقص روايتي عليكم طفلة أنا كفراشة من بلاد حلقت طائرة إليكم وفي مدرستكم استقيت دينا وعلما وأخلاقا وزرعتم بي نفسا للنجاح طواقا عائلة بعد عائلة مدرستي كل يوم أغدو إليها مشتاقا وأدعو ربي أن يوفقني لكل ما يرضيه بي لمستقبل يضيء إشراقا.
Next, we have Maryami binti Muhammad Yusuf. Maryam B is a 14-year-old student at Dignity. She lives in Malaysia with her mother. Her hobbies include singing, dancing, writing quotes, and gardening with her mother. She plans to become a medical student to help her mother's dream come true.
Hello everyone, my name is Mariam and I'm from Dignity. Today I will read my poem to you guys. The title name of my poem is Line. So I will start reading now. I took in your lovely words and feel melt in my heart. Your delicate gestures are so addictive. I dissolve under your touch. And you said yes when I asked if you love me too. My chest ached as I observed your answer like a bittersweet coffee. My star touched liar. When will you ever tell me the truth?
Next, we have Maryum Rashid. Maryum is a 14-year-old Pakistani student at Dignity School. She loves studying and wants to become a scientist when she grows up. Her hobbies include editing and creating digital art. She also loves helping other people and showing them love and kindness.
Greetings to all. I'm Mariam Rashid and I'm from the school Dignity for Children Foundation.
and today I will be reciting a poem which I made on woman, on a strong woman. So here we go. Sometimes I feel like I'm a toy being played and later being thrown out. This world is too cruel. Sometimes I even regret that. Why am I even born? Coming out in the bright side, I realize that I'm a blessing. I deserve love and happiness instead of being betrayed. I can change the world and make it a better place. I will be a mother, a sister, or a wife one day. Don't consider me as a burden. I can do what I want. I can stand up on my own feet. So consider me a strong woman, which I'll always be.
And lastly, we have Muhammad Kadir. Muhammad was born and raised in Malaysia, having multi-ethnic parents from Indonesia and Myanmar. Sadly, his father went missing a few years ago. Being unable to contact his father and hear any news from him, Muhammad hopes to write a poem to remember his father, and he hopes they will see each other again soon.
My dear dad, I thought of you today. My dad is the best. He is kind and soft-hearted. He works like an engine. He is the best out of the best. But sadly, he's gone like dust now. Even though I couldn't see him with my eyes, but I can always feel him in my heart. I wish I could meet him once again. My dear dad, I hope you will rest in peace in heaven. We will meet again in the next afterlife. I miss you, Dad.
Alright, that was the junior category. And now let's get it going with the refugees adult category. And the first person who will start off is Ali Riza Benjamin Alizada. Ali Raza Benjamin Alizada is a poet who has been writing for about 7 years now, and this is the first time he has taken part in a poetry contest. About 2 years ago, he was forced to immigrate due to certain reasons, and he is currently residing in Malaysia. He hoped his poem will touch the hearts of anyone from communities that can understand the struggles that immigrants face.
من یک پرنده، من یک بی خانه. خانم کجای ای دنیاست؟ هیچی نمیفهمم. من نه شهری دارم، من نه بال و پر دارم. نشستم در قفس، دارم از چی میخوانم. من صدای طوفانم، صدای بمبم، صدای بارود، صدای بلند مرمی که محکومه و مرگی مشکوک. من لبالب شعرم، در قفس تنهایی، نه حال اعتراض دارم، نه حال فریاد، نه حتی حال رسوایی. خدا هم نمیفهمه ای حاله، البته اگر خدایی باشه که حالم چقدر بده که می نویسم از غم بی جایی. محاله و پرنده را دارم که هیچ جای دنیا سقف نداره، که همیشه مهاجره به اینجا و به آنجا و به هر جایی. توی خانمان صدای مرگ میاد، توی کوچه بوی خون پیچیده، لابلای درختا پر از باروته، سرک های صدای درد رمیده. آخره قصه مثل همیشه سوختنه، در مرزای بی کسی تا ابد جا ماندنه. هر چقدر پیش میرم باز همی سفر انتهایی نداره. بی سرنوشت رو به نیستی، جاده‌ای که حتی ابتدایی نداره. مثل مترسکی شدم ترسناک، ده هر جای دنیا که میرم، که انگ مهاجر سرم، آدمایی که ازم سیرن. من نه وطن دارم، نه جایی برای ماندن، دلم میخواهد پرواز کنم، نمیتانم چون که آزادی بردن. صدایم خفه شده در ای دنیا که همیشه دنبال یک سقفم، که لابلای ذهن مریضم در رویا، نمیفهمم که پشت چی میگردم. رویایی که همیشه با خود دارم، زندانی شده توی افکارم، که شاید آزادی را دیدم یک جایی وقتی که بیدارم. که شاید تانستم یک روزی یک جای دنیا آرام بگیرم، به دور از دغدغه افکار سمی، با خیال راحت آرام بمیرم.
Next we have Fatima Hassanzada. Fatima is originally from Afghanistan and lived in Iran for many years as an immigrant. She was very interested in poetry at that time, but she did not receive any education in this genre of literature. She has always wanted to be the voice of the people who cannot express their pain and problems to the world. She uses poetry to be this voice.
مپرس اگر از مرغ مهاجر بپرسید چرا در پی امن و آرام در به در و شهر به شهر می گردد می خندد تلخ ناچار است یا که از برگک رنجور فتاده بر پای درخت پرسید چیست قصه طوفان و تگرگ گوید هیچ حادثه‌ای غمبار است وگر از مادر غمزده‌ای نشسته بر آوار فرو ریخته سقف خیره بر اجساد به جا مانده ز جنگ پرسید چه شد می گرید سخت گفتنش دشوار است دگر از دختر غمگین بهار مپرس چرا دامن گلدار پر از چین تو را با تبر تکه به تکه چاک زدند یا مپرس از مادر محزون خزان چطور پشت فرزندت را سخت بر خاک زدند دمی از زجه فرخنده و رخشانه مگو که مباد مادرش دخترکش یاد کند یا مگو زان طفلک بیچاره که مرد که تجاوز بر حرم و غرورش کردند نشود تازه میان گورش سخت فریاد کند باری با من بیچاره کوچیده ز آن ملک بلاخیز مگو که چه دیدی و بریدی از خانه و دامان وطن آواره شدی سرو از دیدن حادثه ماتم و مرگ چون بید به خود می لرزد پس مگو تو چرا جامه دریدی و چنین بی کس و بیچاره شدی دست مکش بر تن زخم دیده از تیغ و تبر نرمی دستان نوازش تن آزرده و مجروح مرا مرهم نیست گله کردم به تمامی چه کنم حسرت و درد و مصیبت کم نیست زندگی بود یا که سیه روزی این عمر که بر باد فنا رفت و گسست یادم آرد شب و روز پرسشت 100 باره هیچ مگو هیچ مپرس شاید این سایه شوم رخوت رخت بربندد از این حافظه بیچاره.
Next we have Masuma Tawakkali. Masuma is originally from Afghanistan and has been living in Malaysia since 2014. In 2019, the Malaysian publisher Gerak Budaya published her first illustrated book, Life Under Taliban, where she reflects on how people have been oppressed by extremists in her home country. As a poet, she has participated in 2 Georgetown Literary Festival, and as an artist, she has participated in several galleries.
آوارهای اندوه را از سر و رو تکاندیم و خانه را ترک کردیم و همسفر باد شدیم. مقصد ما رهایی و جاری شدن است و در نهایت رسیدن. باید از دشت‌های خوناب شقایق گذشت. باید از شوره‌زارهای بیم و امید گذشت. باید از کویرهای مملو از سراب گذشت. باید از آبهای گندیده در مرداب گذشت. گذشتیم و گذشتیم و گذشتیم و در سحرگاهی در نیربک عاشق آواره بیخانه دمیدیم. مقصد ما فتح دلهای مهربانان است. مقصد ما جاری شدن عاطفه در حسچه ماه است. مقصد ما رهایی قاصدک از پنجه آه است. مقصد ما محو شده در صورت نورانی خاک است.
Next, we have Mitra. Mitra is originally from Iran and currently lives in Malaysia with her family as refugees. Her poetry, which she has been writing since 2016, are mostly about her faith.
خدایی هست در این کوچه بنبست دلم که شویم یار هم و خلوت کنیم در محفلم. من بگویم از غم این روزگار ناخوشم، او بگوید راز خرمی به من بر این گوشم. من که نالم از بدان و از خود بد پندارم، او بگوید من بدانم چاره ات هست با خودم. من بگویم خسته ام از درد پنهان دلم، او بخندد بر من و گوید که یابنده منم. من بگویم از در و دیوار ویران خودم، او بگوید من کنم آباد و برپا خانه ام. من بگویم از ره پرپیچ و سخت سفرم، او بگوید بی خبر من هستم با تو همسفر. من دگر چیزی نگفتم، صامت و ساکت شدم. دست من را بگرفت، در آغوشش آرام شدم.
Next we have Velayuthan Gangatharan.
தமிழ் தாய்க்கு வணக்கம். கவிதை தலைப்பு காணாமல் போனவனின் கையசைப்பு. வீட்டின் மூலையில் உறங்கி கிடக்கிறது வழிமாறி போனவனின் கால்தடம். 2 செருப்பு வெவ்வேறு நிறம், கடைசியாக மாற்றிய உடுப்பு. அவன் விட்டு போன அனைத்திலும் கனவும் பெருமூச்சு. இடையறாத இருண்ட வெளியும், பிணங்கள் கூச்சலிடம் புதைகுழி, இரத்தப் பிசிறு, இறுதியோலத்தில் கடவுளின் நிராகரிப்பு. இன்னும் காத்திருப்பது அவனது தலைமுறை, அடுத்த தலைமுறை. காத்திருப்பு மங்கி பின் தீந்து போகிறது. வார்த்தைகளும் வலிகளும் இடையறாது துடிக்கிறது. வார்த்தைகளும் வலிகளும் இடையறாது துடிக்கிறது. இரவு பனி இரவு வெளி உலகத்திற்கு. எனக்கு மட்டும் கண்ணீர் இரவு, எனக்கு மட்டும் கண்ணீர் இரவு. உன் பிரிவு, உன் கையசைப்பு.
Alright, that was the refugees adults category. And now let's get it going with the migrant workers adults category. The first person who will start off is Ai Anggraini. Ai is a domestic worker in Malaysia, and she has been working there for 11 years. She's a single mother with 2 sons, and her dream is to have her children wear a bachelor's graduation gown one day. Her hope is to always stay healthy in order to keep working until her dreams comes true.
COVID-19 karya Ai Anggraini. Apakah kita gembira hari ini? Tekanan COVID-19 tembusi mancanegara. Seluruh negara berkongsi derita. Terperak-peranda angkara virus. Ekonomi hancur, bahkan hilang kerja. Yang lebih menyedihkan, hospital jenuh merawati. Pesakit kian ramai. Bahkan petugas kesehatan menanggung risiko. Sedaya upaya menyelamatkan nyawa. alat pelindung diri, jadi pembenteng. Akankah kita berhenti hingga di sini? Ataukah menyerah sahaja, sia-sia? Tidak. 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 Kita harus perangi musuh halimunan. Wahai penguasa, kita mampu hidupkan kembali ekonomi yang suram. Tetapi mampukah kita hidupkan kembali pesakit yang sudah mati? Kita tidak boleh lari atas nama takdir. Ikhtiar harus diteruskan. Kita hadapi bersama, kuatkan benteng, perangi wabah ini. Terima kasih.
Next we have Doris Bernardo Quego. Doris is a Filipino domestic worker and caregiver serving in Malaysia for 14 years now. She's a single mother blessed with 7 children. She is their sole provider, making sure their basic needs are met, from a roof above their head to proper education and the chance to add a better life.
A hero without cape. When we were young, our dream is to fly, to go to places where we can reach the sky, which the world can promise a better tribe. That is where I give my try, for my children a better life. It is hard to leave loved ones behind. It's harder to see them struggle by our side. Hit by poverty and struck by hungerness, I chose to leave them to survive. As I look back as being a migrant, I realize that is one of the beautiful things that happens to me. I found my blessings in the land where I am nobody, discovering the best version of me, which just build my confidence and trust on the Almighty. Hero, a term that other people call on us. A hero without cape, without a special power, but full of dreams and love. Like a tree that bears fruit for us and light that shines for the better future of our lives. Thank you so much.
Next we have Juan Santillan Amurao. Juan is a Filipino, a widow, and a mother of 2 lovely daughters. She has been a migrant worker based in Johor Bahru, Malaysia for 10 years now. She loves to write poetry, stories, quotes, reaction papers, and freestyle pieces. She also enjoys video editing and creating art using different mediums at hand. Her aim is to motivate and encourage fellow migrants and refugees around the world through her writing. People need other people to remind us that life may be difficult, but it is just temporal.
Ang balangkas ng aking balangaw. Lulan ng tagapamayagpag ng pambansang watawat ng Pilipinas, tinawid ko ang 2,377 kilometrong distansyang hadlang. Paghahanap buhay sa ibang bansa upang kumita ng higit para sa mas kaiga-igayang kinabukasan. Ang aking puso ay nabalot ng takot sa pakikipagsapalaran ito. Ang aking isipan ay napuno ng iba't ibang mga kabalintunaan. Sinubukan kong supilin ang aking damdamin at isinilid sa mga kahon. Mga gawaing bahay na hindi ko naman talaga nakasanayan. Labis na pagod at masidhing pananabik sa aking pamilya. Ganyan ang aking kalagayan sa lupang dayuhan. Binubulay ko kung bakit parang walang patutunguhan ang buhay ko. Inalayan ko ng isang sulyap palingo ng aking nakaraan. Abutin ang mga pangarap, lilikha ng mahusay na tatak, babangon at titindig ng matatag. Minsay naging abong hininga, nakakakilabot na kapusyawan. Itim at puti lamang ang nasa kapaligiran, ngunit aking napagtanto, maraming mga kulay ang dito ay makakapagbigay buhay. Binahiran ko ng pula at dilaw sa bawat dako na napupuntahan. Aking ngiti ay nakasilay at binabati ang lahat ng may pakaway. Asul at luntian ang isinaboy ko sa buong paligid para sa mapanirang pag-aalinlangan na umaaligid. Ikibit ang balikat at pagngisi ang ibanat. Sa bawat kabiguan, mamahinga at kahel ay labukin. Subukan muli paglaon at magbaon ng determinasyon. Ang mga pangarap ay maaaring maganap. Bumagsak ng 7 beses, tumayo ng 8 ulit. Mga bako at kurbada ay magdudulot ng pagkaantala. Ayos lang yan. Iwasan lang ang pagpapaliban. Katotohanang hatid ng lilang huni ay pakinggan. Kung ano ang ginawa mo, yun ang babalik sa iyo. Ang sanhi at bunga ng ating kaisipan at gawin nakabatay sa kaibituran ng ating puso at layunin. Walang sinuman ang perpekto at yan ang lubos na totoo. Ikaw at ako ay makakagawa ng positibong epekto. Palaganapin natin ang kagalakan, pag-asa at pagmamahalan. Pusong mahabaginawa ang pairalin ng bawat nilalang. Isang dekada ng pagtatanim sa halamanan ng gumamela. Ang binhi ng pagpupursige ngayon ay umuspong na. Diniligan at tinalagaan ko ito ng may pangunawa. Pinataba ko ito ng purong katas ng kabutihan at maingat na isinumbla ang katapatan at kababaang loob. Bulaklak ng bahaghari ko ay malapit nang mamungadkad. Sa magandang balangaw ng aking buhay, ito ang magsisilbing ilawang tanglaw. At doon ko yayakapin ang indigo, pauwi sa aking tahanan. Ako ay patutungo.
And finally, we have Mansurni Abadi. Mansurni is a research assistant at the National University of Malaysia. He spends his time helping other migrant workers with Indonesia Activist Network to reduce the dehumanization that migrant workers and refugees can face.
Hello, good night everyone. Today I will read my poetry for Migrant Poetry Festival. My name is Nasruni Abadi. I am from Indonesia, currently stay in Malaysia. My poetry is about the father who become the migrant worker in Malaysia for the make his children have the better future. So my poetry is about the father who become work in construction site. I will read for all of you guys. Setengah tapak binaan itu. Selamat pagi Kuala Lumpur. Di setengah tapak binaan yang kelak akan menjadi temaram dan menghadirkan senyum sejuta wajah. Tapi ada ayah yang berjuang demi harapan anaknya. Dari berbagai bangsa mereka datang. Hanya untuk merangkai asa di hadapan. Kadang rindu memuncak pada pagi yang cerah itu. Di tapak binaan yang masih setengah itu. Mereka mencoba membangun kekuatan di tengah kerapuhan. Senyum anak-anaknya dari kejauhan seakan menjadi kekuatan. Untuk terus maju ke hadapan. Kadang tangan yang kotor itu melambai di kejauhan. Mancing senyum. Anaknya yang ada di kejauhan. Setiap waktu selalu ada lelah, ada suka, ada perih. Tapi semua harus ditahan sekaligus diobati. Obat bagi mereka seringkali bukanlah sesuatu yang mewah, namun selalu bermula dari tanya. Pah, sudah makan belum? Papa lagi ngapain? Papa, aku kangen. Papa, kapan pulang? Rasa-rasanya pertanyaan polos itulah kekuatan sekaligus kehadiran. Di tengah hinaan yang kadangkala memandang mereka hina, namun dari kehinaan itulah mereka yang berkata-kata akhirnya menikmati. Apa yang kemudian mereka sebut sebagai pembangunan. Rasa-rasanya udara pagi akan selalu begini. Tegar namun mendebarkan, damai namun merindukan. Ingin kulupakan. Namun akhirnya menjadi kenangan. Anak selalu menjadi harapan. Takkan mereka menginginkan anaknya menjadi seperti mereka. Pada akhirnya, di tapak binaan yang setengah itu, pada akhirnya, semua tentang dua pilihan, terus maju atau menyerah. Kuala Lumpur, 1 November 2020.
And there you have it, our finalists for this year's competition. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you have enjoyed the poems as much as I did. It is so inspiring and uplifting to see people from all backgrounds, nationalities, race, status, and religions coming together and performing something under the name of poetry. These poems serve as a bridge to connect the Malaysian society with the migrants and refugee community. There are a lot of misconceptions and hatred towards the community because of policies that divide us and create tension and hatred amongst us. But we know better than that. We're all human beings who have feelings and emotions. Poetry is one of the ways to express those emotions, and we shall respect and appreciate it as a form of talent. These performers today have proven that status, race, religion, or nationality is not and cannot be a reason for us to be divided. Rather, it should unite us as one. Poetry indeed brings people together, despite the differences, because we all have feelings and emotions, and we need human connections more than ever in times like these. From poems about father, mother, and families, to poems about being empowered, uplifted, strong, and staying awesome. The young, talented juniors took us into a journey of mixed emotions. Poems about leaving home behind, leaving children and families behind to find a better future, to poems about looking at ourselves as heroes, superfathers, and COVID-19. The migrants category brought us into a whole new perspective about migrants' daily life, thinking of their families, children, as well as the present. Poems about dreaming of flying, dreaming of freedom, losing home, losing identity, to poems about conversations with God, love, destiny, and personal stories. The refugee category took us on a trip to a dark yet beautiful place of sorrow, hopes, dreams, and love. These amazing and talented poets have shown us that poetry is one of the very successful ways to connect, express, and share about our feelings and stories and thoughts. I am deeply honored to have been able to listen to them and become their MC for today. Each and every one of them have had a loss in their lives, either a home, a family member, a community, or a feeling. I connect deeply with their words and I share their emotions. Well done and kudos to all of them for making this successful. So, dear viewers, are you excited to find out who the winners are? The judges have taken their time to deliberate the finalists, and I'm happy to announce that they have made their decisions. And here are the winners. For the junior category, third place goes to Mariam Rashid. Second place in the junior category goes to Mawadda Al-Bunni. And first place and the winner for the junior category goes to Mariambi Binti Muhammad Yusuf. Next, for the refugee adult category, third place goes to Fatima Hassan Zada. Second place in the refugee category goes to Ali Reza Alizada. And the first place and the winner in the refugee category goes to Velayutham Kangathara. And finally, the migrant adult category. Third place goes to I Angraini. Second place goes to Juan Amurao. And the first place and the winner of the migrant category goes to Mansour Abadi. Thank you everyone for staying with us till the end of this event. We would really appreciate if you could continue supporting us by checking out the other lineup of sessions of the panels and not forgetting the Singapore Migrant Poetry Competition happening on 29 November at 4 p.m. To find out more about the speakers and the event, please visit globalmigrantfestival.com and hope to see you again. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated with all the latest news about the event, and see you next year.